I don't know if anybody was in South Australia before the Lindner family. They're one of the first boat type cats, like Mayflower type stuff, but in South Australia. Basically, besides all the criminals that went to Australia, there were a lot of folks that escaped religious persecution, both from England and from Germany. And a lot of these cats, the Germans in particular, found their way to the Barossa Valley and set up shop. So the Lindners came to Australia in 1845, baby. That's 2 years after the oldest Shiraz vineyard they own, which may be the oldest Shiraz vineyard in the world, the Freedom Vineyard, planted 1843. But we're not talking about that beautiful wine from Langmeil. No, we're talking about some of the oldest Cabernet Sauvignon in the world. It's not Jackaman's. All right, no Deadpool, Wolverine references here, although we could. Yeah, I saw the movie, it's really good. But no, I'm not. Jackaman's vineyard. In reference to the previous owner of the property, who I guess was quite the guy, quite the Renaissance super duper guy. You know, one of these climbing mountains, canoeing, writing books on physics, and one of these types of guys. And would drink under the table simultaneously. The Lindners, I think they bought the vineyard directly from him, if I'm not mistaken. But this is part of Langmeil's Old Vine Garden series. And the Langmeil family, because of their history in the Barossa Valley in South Australia, are connected with some of the greatest old vine vineyards in the Barossa, including this beauty, planted in 1964. Let's think about that. Prior to 1964, in the 40s and 50s, sweet wine was the order of the day, not just in Australia, but in America as well. Remember, the folks, the grandparents drinking their Harvey's Bristol Cream Sherry and having all these wonderful sweet wine experiences in between their vodka martinis, real vodka martinis back then. And, what happened is in the 60s, we saw this explosion of dry red wine. Dry red wine started coming into vogue again. And in Australia, particularly with Max Schubert of Penfolds producing his Grange wines, etc., it caught on real quick. And some of these vineyards were being planted to accommodate the fact that dry red wine was becoming a thing. And in the 1960s, actually, a lot of Cabernet Sauvignon was planted in Barossa Valley in South Australia. This is one of the great Cabernet vineyards in the Barossa Valley. So now we're talking, well, this year, 60-year-old vines. Not too much Cabernet in America, that old. Well, I mean, you could buy Scarecrow, right, and pay like $900 a bottle or whatever the hell it is now, huh? You could do that, I guess. Kathy Corson's Kronos Vineyard, that's an old one. But that's like, what is that, 200 bucks now? I don't even know, 200 something, and she's reasonable. If you want great old vine Cabernet Sauvignon, you don't want to pay a ton of money. You can go to Chile, or you can go to Australia. And this wine is a beaut, as they say. 2019 vintage. Excellent vintage in the Barossa Valley. Classic vinification, small oak barrels, no fining, no filtration here. Now let's talk about this. Let's talk about Australia for 30 seconds. I know there's apprehension and fear with some people with Australian wine. Still, I don't know why. Like an Australian wine, maybe the whole dingo ate my baby thing. I'm still trying to figure it out. But what Australian Cabernet does is something beautiful and distinctive, i.e., this wine captures all the feel of the Barossa Valley, that rich, silky, slippery texture, that yummy, gorgeous, but not like full-on hedonistic. The Langmeils don't make like over-the-top wines, but it does capture the true terroir of the Barossa in the glass while still maintaining true Cabernet character. With all that slippery, yummy Barossa stuff, you get cassis, you get currant, you get a little touch of what we call that sweet, almost like chocolate mint, like that Girl Scout cookie character in the wine. Thin mints. I love this stuff. And here's the thing with old vines. What we have to remember with old vines doesn't necessarily deliver bigger, though it can. What old vines do is deliver balance, equilibrium, and ease on the palate, complexity of flavor, quiet, in-tune structure. Everything's harmonious. Old vines just give you that, here you go, buddy. And you go, thank you, old vine. And you make really groovy wine out of it. And the Langmeils are just blessed with this fabulous, fabulous site. Now, unfortunately, in America, as Australian winemakers, they're not blessed. So what happens is we get opportunities on very special wines that we're very aware of. These are icon wines to us. We've grown up with them. I've sold these wines for 30 years. We get opportunities because not everybody's interested in selling these wines. And for the life of me, I don't friggin' know why. Where else are you gonna find 60-year-old vine Cabernet from a great vineyard site, single vineyard site, unfined, unfiltered, beautifully made, even at its original retail price of 70 bucks? I mean, you're not gonna find that in the first place. But the fact that we get a chance to sell this wine today for $29.98, for $30, crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. This is beautiful old vine, single vineyard Cabernet Sauvignon, minimally manipulated at the highest order. It has scores too, look it up, I think 93 points from Wine Advocate, et cetera, et cetera. But the deal is it's about the wine. And this wine, folks, is special. And this screw cap is beautiful. And this wine is going to age 10 to 15 more years, drop of a hat, well kept. And you're just gonna get one of the most unique Cabernet Sauvignon drinking experiences on the palate for 30 bones, on the planet, palate, Freudian slip, for 30 bones. That is crazy town. That is downright silly. It's stupid, and I love it.